eye and the muscles surrounding it, making his eyeball do a backflip. Laser photocoagulation to fix the eye, and a high dose of benzimidazole to kill the worms.
Wait a minute. That's it? He's gonna be okay?
Good news. He's gonna be with you for a long, long time.
Wait, did he say Giardia? Or Giarda? Or Guardia? Did I miss it? I didn't hear him say it. Or is that what it was?
I'm going to read you something.
Well, fuck you guys.
Or your posture, or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are getting Giardia. That's the image of someone who is not well. Wait, what? Wait, what, Dams? Wait, what?
What? God, she
You
talks
guys
like the
didn't know
girl
about
in that
this?
skit.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Meth-Zempic diet. Oh, God.
Even after CPS was called, Denham's attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because
Also, quick ADHD meth shout out, okay? Amphetamines are insanely effective at treating underlying ADHD symptoms. And amphetamines are awesome drugs because you take them and you basically know if they're working in like 2 days. And if they're not working, then you switch off them in another drug, and you can figure this out in like a couple weeks. You can cycle through 4 or 5 different amphetamines or methylphenidates to figure out if it works or not, okay? Amphetamines are awesome, all right? And they're not like addictive. They don't cause like this horrible long-term like fucked up damage or whatever. Like, it's a good drug to treat ADHD. Okay, SSRIs and SNRIs and these other types of drugs, these things suck ass. And it's a pain in the ass to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and, you know, these other mental illnesses or underlying conditions are much harder to treat. It's weird that of all the drugs to make fun of, people, like, lose their mind on, like, oh, this guy's methed out, and this guy's blah, blah, blah. Like, I guess because ADHD is just a fun disease to attack, or because that class of drug is just a fun class of stuff to attack. But I feel like if Ethan were to come out and make fun of any of these people, like, oh, this person's all SSRI'd up, this depressed fucking loser, people wouldn't have the same, say, understanding, acceptance of that type of humor. But, hey, you know, what do I know?
children can't be traumatized.
I don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit.
They're extremely addictive. Slow-release amphetamines are not extremely addictive. If you're taking short-release stuff, it could be. So, like, the ordinary Adderall could be. You might run into more addiction issues with that. But, like, for something like Vyvanse or Adderall XR, or I think there are other long-release amphetamines now. Not really, not as much.
Bad memory here for them.
Also, there's not like a, you don't develop the same, like, physiological dependence on them either. Like, if you stop amphetamines, you just go back to how you were before. You don't have, like, a mega crash out where you're like, oh, I'm fucked, I need my fucking mad.
Traumatized.
I don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
Maybe.
If you're wondering who the guy is she's watching, his name is Bad Empanada. And as far as harassment campaigns go, we think that Ian, as someone who cares so deeply about it, would be talking about him and not me. Here's a small tape.
I'm so curious. We'll never know. I'm so curious what the process looked like for Ian scripting this video. Like, was he given the full script from Hassan and Friends? Did he actually work on it at all? Like, what the fuck? It's crazy how it's just a verbatim rip of all the shitty, weird attacks that have been made on him in the past, and that was it. Like, so babies can't get traumatized, so it literally doesn't matter how you treat a baby under the age of 4. I think you don't tend to form permanent memories until like 2, but I think you can have behavior adaptations that happen from before the age of 2. Although it's interesting, how does that get codified? I guess it wouldn't be in long
I'd like to pay tribute to Ethan Klein and the new Twitch TOS that declares Zionism. Zion is the slur. I'd like to pay tribute to him by playing the Personnel Axa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter. Anyway,
Resistance fighter.
Wait, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean, is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic binge? They don't understand what's going on around them? They haven't noticed me? Where do they keep the secretary?
Maybe Ethan can manage to flip the Dr. Honda guy. Maybe he can give us some leaks. Oh, that guy did take his video down. You do get stimulant withdrawals. It can cause depression and extreme tiredness for a few days into a cold turkey destiny.
What is this?
I feel like I traveled and I didn't take mine for 5 or 6 days.
Ooh.
On a normal sleep schedule.
I don't understand what he's saying.
Get extreme withdrawal. Maybe I'm sure you maybe feel a little bit down, but if you're not abusing them, I don't know if that happens. But
is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all...
You don't even need your hippocampus to form behavioral memories. Yeah, I know that hippocampus is like ordinary long-term memory storage, but there might be other stuff because different stuff gets stored in your brain in different ways. Like, I don't know if your ability to speak, like language, I don't know if that's stored there or if that works differently.
Is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic binge? They don't understand what's going on around them? They haven't noticed me? Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now. Secretary got...
Here's Bad Empanada again, who posted a story saying, I'm the one who called CPS on Ethan Klein. I want CPS to take his kids away because they are seriously in danger.
Today was pretty bad, wasn't it? Really sucked for you. So disappointed. The betrayal of one of your closest long-term friends, huh? Tick-tock, Ethan. Tick-tock.
Oh, okay.
This was just a small part of what we have organized for you. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse, Mr. Klein.
Tell me anybody signed up.
This like super. This should be a red line. If I ever do this, or if we do this, okay, call me out on it. When you take somebody who makes like really gross hit pieces, but because they happen to make gross hit pieces on people you don't like, now all of a sudden.
Never liked goblins. I never liked goblins, even though Xanax said they deserve our pity more than hate. She was wrong, of course. They killed me, so I should hate them. I came to rebuild a farmstead. Now I'll serve as nothing but compost. Gran would be so upset with me. Remember me, adventurer. Help my spirit rest. Warren was my name. Don't let it be forgotten. My brother lies buried in darkness beneath a southern point. Raising high in the sky, find his name, set him free.
Oh my God! This is basically a death threat. You're basically.
Brother is lied, buried in darkness underneath the southern.
Maybe if he stops harassing other creators.
He lets his dogs...
Also, stop real quick. When I talk about abusing prescription drugs, or when I talk about addicted to them, I'm talking about at your therapeutic levels, at whatever you're prescribed at. If you're taking 100 milligrams or whatever of Adderall to get high, or if you're abusing drugs or whatever, then the profile of these drugs is going to change significantly. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about somebody who abuses these drugs for fun and then saying, oh yeah, there's not like a bad withdrawal or come down. Of course, it's going to change significantly at that point. Okay, stop.
Shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace.
House is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit.
And I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
I was particularly angry during this episode entitled Snark Called CPS on us because I hold denims to be one of the primary.
Okay, I can't tell if I'm getting trolled or not. I mean, even if you're taking it as prescribed, you can still feel withdrawals, but that's because some people are prescribed like 300 milligrams of Adderall a day. There is no world where the max safe therapeutic prescriptive dose of Adderall is 300 milligrams. Stop. You're baiting.
I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something.
I was particularly angry during this episode entitled Snark Called CPS on Us because I hold denims to be one of the primary reasons, in my opinion, why CPS was called. Another one of their friends, Froggy Tonic, had been spreading the same malicious rumor about me on Twitter for days before CPS was called as well.
I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that, you know? Like, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it, but fair enough. Now, my former...
Why did he say this? I don't understand how he doesn't understand that you're doing exactly what... Here, what? Did he not understand that? Like, Ethan says, it sounds like this was the thesis of the video. Ethan, you're making a ton of assumptions about us just because we don't want to publicly defend you. And Ethan's like, well, it kind of feels like you agree with all the things that these people are saying. That's why I'm, taking issue with you not saying anything publicly. And he's like, oh yeah, I do agree with all those things. Oh. Then in that case, what's your problem with me expressing the fact that I'm unhappy with the fact that you agree with these horrible things and personal things being made? Like, that's like the whole thing. Why would you say this?
Editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure.
Now let me show you the tweets that Ian conveniently omitted.
Like, how does he manage to miss the biggest things that these people are doing and stumbles onto the, oh yeah, he called her a cunt, he called her a C word, and I guess like, how does he manage to miss the CPS thing?
Me, when my 3 kids ask me why they haven't seen me in the past 4 months, I was in my basement. How can you shun a fallen fan when they worry about their 3 kids when they can't be bothered to protect their dogs? Ethan was neglectful with his dogs. He's already been neglectful with his kids, and he will continue to be. As a child of a neglectful, bipolar, narcissistic dad, that's precisely why I worry about Ethan's kids. I explained it on the podcast, but the truth of the matter is, it's all a lie. It's all wrong. The man is talking about my children. He's painting me as a terrible parent, a neglectful parent, and saying that he's, whose claim to fame is being IDubbbz's friend and former editor, is spreading...
He is mad that Ethan assumed that they disagreed with him, which there wasn't enough evidence to make that conclusion at the time, even if he happened to be right all along. No, hold on. You're just wrong. You are correct that there might not have been enough evidence to assume that at the time, but Ethan's problem was that his lack of speaking on it made it seem like that could be possible. And the fact that it was possible was enough for him to be upset about it. But now that the content cop has come out, now we see that not only was it possible, that was indeed the case. It was indeed the case that he was, that he agreed with all these things. So he was correct, but it doesn't even matter if he was right or wrong. It was just the fact that it feels like that was what was being conveyed by the silence.
Malicious, damaging rumors about me that led to the CPS being called, which, by the way, Ian does not explain one time. Did not mention why I'm angry at Froggy Tonic. He did not mention why I'm angry at Denims. He did not mention the name of the episode. He did not mention what the episode was about. He actually has a perfect opportunity to explain the CPS call, but watch what he does here instead.
Watch what he does
now,
instead,
my former editor of a year and a half ago did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit.
What other shit, Ian? Other shit is doing a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now what?
Nice. I'm glad Ethan used the script I sent him. Good job.
Why does this matter? Because Anissa...
But isn't this the thing that you usually talk about, that you can't give someone credit for being right about something that is essentially a coin toss if they end up being right? What? No. Sometimes the thing itself is bad, but the possibility of the thing itself is bad as well. So the possibility of the thing here would be bad in and of itself. If I point a gun at somebody, then the possibility of it being loaded makes it bad to point the gun at them, regardless of whether or not it's loaded. Even if it's not loaded, it doesn't matter. The possibility of that makes it bad enough, Yeah.
a lot of heavy lifting, man. Now, why does this matter? Because Anissa was yucking it up with these guys during the period in which they were.
Are you gonna go over Willie Mack's content? Probably not. I just don't like talking about all like fucking weird relationship and sex bullshit stuff or whatever. It's fucking weird. The questioning about it is annoying because then you have to divulge and get into like a whole bunch of weird details on personal life shit that I just don't give a fuck about litigating anymore. But Willie Mack made a video. You can go watch it if you want. Maybe at some point I'll do a big response to all of these, but for the most part, it's just a bunch of like hand wringing over. Like, shouldn't you have never talked to Anna after she would? It's like, I don't know, maybe. It's all adults. Who cares? It's fucking not a big deal. Or other stuff that I can't talk about yet. Ongoing litigation.
Spreading this rumor, and when the CPS call was made. The CPS call is central to understanding this story. You cannot tell this story without that context. And to try to tell this story without including that detail, it would be the most bad faith, cruel, gaslighting hit piece of all time. Unfortunately, that's exactly what he did. He convinced his audience that the reason that I'm mad, that I'm lashing out, simply because I'm a raving lunatic. I'm crashing out. I'm just crazy and harassing his friends for no reason. And by the way, to my good friend Ian of 8 years, I really appreciate you weaponizing my mental health against me.
To make Ethan crash out. He's having a parasocial, weird crash out. People can have crash out moments. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help.
Someone who I've confided in over the years, who understands what I've been through, the lengths that I've gone to work on myself and improve my mental condition. For him to throw that in my face, to characterize anything I'm doing as crashing out, that I need help, that I need to get some kind of treatment, is cruel and pathetic on a level I didn't think would ever be possible. One ridiculous point he keeps hammering on is that I'm hating on him, I'm harassing him, simply because he's following people on Twitter.
We're not going to run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anissa and I is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
I'm not upset, Ian, because you follow people. That is absurd. I'm mad because you are actively engaging with these people on social media, in DMs, while this harassment is happening, seemingly indifferent to it, silent on it. In a sense, I felt like you were more on their side than my side.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like...
Yeah, I know. It's such a stupid Greg in YouTube chat. Quote, I think this person is having a mental health episode and needs help, and I want to kick their ass. Or not even that, but just like, I think this person genuinely needs help, so I'm going to release a fucking content cop on them, a thing that I discontinued because I felt like it was so bad. And the only reason why these content cops existed was basically to foster abuse towards people. But Ethan really needs, like, what the fuck? Hello?
Like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Then my side.
Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out.
Our silence means something. That's exactly what we felt. Wow, it's almost like we were right.
True! Hey, Steven, so use like a mind...
Jesus!
The program's probably sitting right now.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time...
Tweet from 2 minutes ago from Walter Bloomberg, the legendary market swinger. He says, police siren emoji. White House has begun the search for a new Secretary of Defense. No, it's fake news. That's the Bloomberg guy. Okay, we trust this guy because he delivered epic news last time. People said he was wrong, and then a day later, he was right, okay? We believe in Walter Bloomberg.
About you. There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI. Things have progressed well past the point of that's just what the internet does. Ian had a recent revelation. He's transcended into a new person. He's achieved nirvana and discovered empathy at age 32.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability, empathy, And I'm very.
By the way, do not let anyone pretend like Ethan was making a huge logical leap to believe that Ian and Anissa were against them. Anissa was interacting on tweets about the situation the whole time. Oh, damn.
Couple of years have I gained the ability
Two.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy, and I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired.
How many times do you think Hassan forced Ethan to re-record that intro where he's like, I need the perfect Giga Chad stare? He's like, wait, let me do this more. Hold on, how many days do you think he stared at his camera, at his face, trying to get I need the perfect Giga Chad stare?
Shush. Shush.
Empathy, but I've realized it because I can't help myself but feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I'm still not perfect.
Sorry, Ian, not Ethan. Their names are too similar, okay? Fuck them.
I think that is, my empathy.
He's saying Ethan instead of Ian. Fuck it.
I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up, potentially, but it's at least there.
In the spirit of his newfound enlightenment, he had this to say.
I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it.
Aww.
The content I'm talking about specifically are content cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also...
How could you have made this video and then come out and have done that content? I don't understand what he was thinking.
Indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not.
What happened? Am I so uniquely evil that you're willing to abandon your newfound principles after, less than a year? What is it that I've done, Ian, that makes me more detestable than any of the other people that you've content copped? And for what did you do this? To revitalize your dying career? This entire video reeks of desperation, of being thrown together, and poorly researched. I don't really even understand why they did this, and I can't imagine that it's going to be worth it. Thanks for the 8 years of friendship, buddy. Have fun with your new friends.
Trump stands behind Hegseth after attack plan shared in second signal chat. Updated 19 minutes ago. He said on Monday that he stood behind the U.S. Secretary. Oh, that's today. After reports that he shared details. I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter what Trump says. Things could change.
It makes some more.
So, I guess we'll see. He literally posted the faked images of Denham's chat while forgetting he left her actual chat still on the screen. Again, like, holy shit, dude. If you're going to post doctored images to defame someone, can you at least put the minimal amount of effort into it, not leave the shit that reveals your lies in the same shot? What was the issue of this? It was that he had compressed or truncated a lot of out. I don't think truncated right here. It was just like a highlight reel basically of her chat over the entire segment, and she's mad because that might have been a highlight reel, but there were other messages in between, and they're like, well, it's not real. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, the messages were taken over a 5-minute period. Denim sketches EK hiding in the real chat. Who's EK? Leftover H3.
His lapdog. Everybody knows this guy's a lunatic. Like, it is not a secret. Go on.
Leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons.
Now pay attention to her chat.
A housekeeper anymore, or perhaps
Ethan, you're gonna want to put your camera above the top right chat that shows that that's not my chat.
he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like
Ethan, your camera's in the
covered
wrong
dog
place.
shit.
Oh, sorry.
And he has kids, and he these
block.
kids like crawl into the
He did it!
dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know.
Now, this is Denham's reacting to this 2 days before CPS was called, and let's just take a look.
Is the Leftovers H3 subreddit just a big anti-fan subreddit for Ethan now? Because that'd be pretty funny if that's what it turned into. Screenshots from the Skull Twitter thread for those who don't want to go to Twitter. Oh yeah, somebody mailed skulls to them. Jesus. Skullgate, a thread.
Skullgate.
Here we go. Ethan posts these photos on Instagram saying he was sent them as intimidation or harassment. The exact same one, same code, same markings can be found on the Skulls Unlimited site, now mysteriously taken down since the post has been going viral. The green packaging here aligns with the shops. So the person did... Well, hold on. Did Ethan them say that they were real skulls? Or what are they trying to say? Oh, they're just trying to say that they think Ethan faked it? Why would you fake something like that? This should absolutely be fully investigated, seeing as you have large accounts like Hassan, Noah, and iDubbbz purposely sending this as a way to threaten him. Waiting patiently for updates. Do not harass anyone's threat. Don't be a fucking psycho loser. Finally, of course, when someone sent this as a threat, it's fucking vile. Like, how are you going to investigate it? Why would Ethan lie about something like this? If he got caught, it'd be so stupid. Now, ordinarily, I'd say people can be stupid, so maybe he did lie, but he's had a long history on the internet. I don't think he's ever, like, lied or gotten caught lying, at least about anything that stupid, no? Oh, nice. Bad Empanada is a mod on the Leftover subreddit? I'd be very worried if I was a CPS officer and saw this. This was, a month ago. On March 13th. Over a month ago. Jesus. That account is suspended. This one is? Oh, rip. True. His accounts get banned all the time because he's fucking crazy. Do not forget that Hassan intentionally used and platformed Bad Empanada to attack Ethan while he knew all along that he's an unhinged psychopath.
Such a fucking freak, dude. Oh my lord, he's such a goddamn freak. He is the most insane person. He has like 7,000 accounts. I just said I have an official blockade on Bad Empanada videos on this broadcast while I'm live. That's number one. And number two, he's not just mean on Twitter. He is a psychopath, okay? The idea that he's just simply mean on Twitter is ridiculous. He is not just mean on Twitter. He is the most insane person on Twitter.
The first in Al-Aqsa video game where you kill Zionist soldiers as a Palestinian resistance fighter. Anyways, are these Israelis? They're just standing there? I mean, is the Israeli army a bunch of Ethan Kleins? Like, they're all on a fucking Ozempic binge? They don't understand what's going on around them? They haven't noticed me? Where do they keep the secretaries? In here? I'm hunting for secretaries right now.
It was a secretary during a mandatory IDF service. People like desperately tried to, I don't know if you say dox her now, but try to figure out like what her position was or where she worked because they wanted to see if she was like murdering Palestinian children.
Secretary genocide propaganda will come. Thanks.
Fuck!
Free Palestine. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, go support this dipshit that I do appreciate, regardless of my disagreements with him on his optics and the ways that he conducts himself.
His optics,
with
just
regular
optics.
frequency.
Just
because
optics,
ultimately his product, his YouTube essays, as a standalone entity, is always solid.
Da, 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 da.
Wait, where did this come from? Did Bad Empanada make a video on this, or did somebody, or like what? Not with the music, I guess, or did he with the music? I have no idea.
One of your closest long-term friends, huh?
He sent this to Ethan? Wait, no shot.
Talk to Bad Empanada. Destroy Bad Empanada in the marketplace of ideas. Why won't you do that? He's called out your wife, dude, right? He's done horrible things. You should talk to Bad Empanada and fucking destroy him. You can do it, big man.
TikTok, Ethan. TikTok, because this was just a taste. This was just a small part misery in fear of what we have in store for you. Tick-tock goes the clock.
I'm never gonna watch a bad empanada video on this stream. I'm just like. Anyway, let's continue.
Why is he a terrorist? He's an Arab in Yemen. Why else would he be a terrorist, right? Someone who, by the way, has he committed? What terrorist act has he committed? I can point to a terrorist act that Hila Klein has participated in. What terrorist act did this guy participate in? Could you point to that for us? Which one? What did he do?
He would perhaps benefit tremendously if I did watch his YouTube videos on this channel, but I'm never gonna fucking do that.
Crazy, huh?
I'm never gonna watch a bad empanada video on this stream. I'm just letting you guys know.
Bad Empanada would never actually talk to Ethan. He's a spineless fucking loser, and if he did, he'd just cuck out and act super nice like he did when he talked to Destiny. No, I don't think that's true at all. I think Bad Empanada would absolutely talk to him, and I don't think he would cuck out. Bad Empanada is fucking crazy. That guy is legitimately fucking crazy and unhinged.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a
Liar.
fucking Weasley little
Ooh.
liar.
What a fucking lie.
Great, we're getting back. Fuck you!
Fuck you.
PR is reporting the White House has begun the process of looking for a new Secretary of Defense. Oh no. Uh-oh. In the last few weeks, 4 senior advisors to Hegseth have left abruptly, some accused of leaking. They have all released public statements suggesting infighting within the Department of Defense. Bad Empanada was nice when he talked to you. Did he? Was he? I don't remember. I think that would have been a long time ago. I don't even remember talking to him directly. I might have. Funnily, Bad Empanada is the most pro-Ukraine out of all leftists on YouTube. Wonder why? Is it because BE read up more on the issue? I have no idea. I would have bet a lot of money that he would be super anti-Ukraine. That's crazy to me if that's true. I don't even know what position he comes with that from.
Black Monday hit hard. Black Monday hit hard. But this black don't crack. Don tried to hit us with tariffs on the flavor molecule. Said it was too powerful, too cultural. Tariffs, nigga? For real? The Dow dropping like snow bunny panties in a fat nigga's penthouse? This a fire sale. And the big body kings in the market like brokies on Black Friday trying to cop a flat screen. Fat nigga treasury check the moonshot reserve. Fat coin portfolio at an all-time high. Why don't we just buy the whole damn thing? Pulled up on that nigga Jerome at the Federal Reserve. Hold up, this nigga named Jerome and he isn't a brother. Gave his broke ass an offer he couldn't refuse. Bought the debt, then we repossessed the country. 40 acres and a mule. Nah, we coming for that whole thing. This the Black House now, nigga. Black Monday hit hard.
Okay, thanks.
Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. They believe in the power of audio so much they even use it themselves right here, right now. Text the word RANDOM to 511 511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategies with new and innovative ways that sound better.
Thanks, Bill.
Go to radioactivemedia.com or text RANDOM to 511 511. Text RANDOM to 511 511 today. Message and data rates may apply. Add ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It lets you post jobs today and talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Thanks,
Best
Bill.
of all,
one of those crowns I have here fell. I put some like kind of cement.
And recruitees, people trying to find jobs, and it's funny the different complaints they have against each other. For a while, it was like all people that are trying to like apply for new jobs are like nobody's responding. You have to use so much AI just to see, or just to get seen by these fucking interviewers. It's fucking bullshit. And then all of the interviewing people, all of the interviewers would be like hiring people now now sucks. Everybody has like a fucking AI, AI resumes out the ass, and it's hard to filter through like what's real and what's not. And it's just everybody hating everybody based.
Save time. And right now, you can try Zip Intro for free at ziprecruiter.com/random. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/random right now to try Zip Intro for free. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/random. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. You know, spring is here, and the warm weather makes me want to get outside for some quality time playing basketball and meeting up with friends. The last thing I want to do in the little free time I have is worry about picking
$140 million
Luckily,
net
I
worth,
found Factor
according to
with their
Google.
nutritious 2-minute meals. Eating well has never been this easy. You just heat up and enjoy. Try it out yourself. Get started at factormeals.com/random 50 off and use code RANDOM50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. So you don't think any people are like born, quote unquote, in the wrong body?
No, I don't.
No?
I think people might think they are. There's a book of the Bible I think you'd love.
What?
Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon. Crosby, Stills, and Nash?
Song of Solomon's all about sex.
Charlie Kirk here?
Isn't that the one where the guy, I feel like I heard Christian school jokes about this, where it's like, oh, this is how they used to say women were hot, and he's like, your legs are like tree stumps or something. Am I making this up?
I am here.
Kirk, reporting for duty?
That's what they call me.
How are you?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us.
Us?
Well, Arjun. Or me.
Is there someone with you?
No, thanks for having me.
You're not expecting trouble, are you?
Not quite.
You travel with security?
Unfortunately.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow. Like what kind?
You know, security.
Well, I'm sorry that you have to do that, but that's the price of fame. And boy, you're everywhere. You're like the new It Boy podcast. No, it's true.
We have different jihadis that want to kill me. The purple-haired jihadis, the woke guys.
Well, they want to kill me. They want to kill me just as bad.
Probably is.
Oh, they really do.
No, you've been very outspoken on the woke side.
Nobody wants to kill you.
And they, just the way within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me.
Richard clears you in rage baiting Twitter. Learn some subtlety, little gup. Well, Richard is more on Twitter. I'm a streamer, okay? Fuck you. Richard does have a good Twitter, though.
Within a religion, they hate their own apostates more. I would say they hate me more. Because I'm supposed to, like, get on the short bus to Crazy Town with them. And I won't. And yet I'm still a liberal. And still, like, you know, I mean, we probably could argue all day about Donald Trump and what he's doing, which I'm not down with. But, you know...
Bitch.
It's always the people who are closest who think, oh, gosh.
Killing me.
I was going to ask, is it because they thought you were one of them? And that
I am one of them. They're not one of me.
Okay.
It's the liberals who have...
So they've left you, not you left them.
Well, I feel
fair.
like there's... Liberal and woke are two completely different things. It was the theme of my last stand-up special that I just did a few months ago. And it's basically... Oh, I mean, it wasn't the whole special, of course, but it was a large part of it devoted to that, to proving that case. That, you know, what liberals believe, woke is something completely different. It's very often the opposite of it. You know, liberalism is, let's live in a colorblind society. That's the goal. Woke's goal is, we see race everywhere.
Race obsession.
Yes. Okay. So that's not liberal. You changed. Liberal is there are two-state solution. Woke is river to the sea. Okay. So just don't take my word and say you're that. You took this and took it to. You got off the F train. You fell asleep and you got off the 20 stops too far. And don't blame me for that. Drink?
No, thank you.
You don't drink? Or smoke pot? And you're married.
Goblin banner? What?
No, this is going to just be perfect.
But can I just ask you, because I want to find out a lot about you, because you're obviously a super bright guy. But
Gabe?
Don't you love liberals spending so much time talking about the pitfalls of their own side and not once demanding the MAGA does the same? True, but that's because the woke, lefty, crazy people are a minority on the left, which is why the left tries to disavow them, because there's a lot of other people. Because if you're on the left and you disavow the wokies, there's still a big audience for you, right? Of other people. On the right, you can't disavow the fascism or the authoritarian. Then what are you? A never Trump Republican? AKA completely and totally fucking irrelevant? You're fucked.
Do think that I have the right to live completely opposite than you do.
I think you can get as drunk as you'd like.
And you're that kind of an American, right? You're not forcing your opinions as...
I'm not here to say you can't. What do you think?
No, okay. So you think pot should be legal?
That's a complicated...
No,
I have a very unpopular view on pot. You know, can I tell you, Mike?
I love how they... Do you see how they transition... and I don't think Bill Maher is like intentionally, super debate brand or whatever. But you see how Bill Maher did a little kind of like conceptualizing like, oh, so you are like a live and let live kind of guy, and you're, oh, okay, cool. But then he moved from the conceptualization to, what do I say? You need examples. It's really important to get examples. And he's like, oh, okay, so you're okay with pot being legal then? And then Charlie was like, no. It's like, oh, okay. That was good.
My case on pot.
Please do.
It's not the depression that it might be causing or the fact that it might be hurting kids' brains. It's the smell. It's the stench that drives me crazy.
Yeah, it's not hurting their brains. I mean, kids shouldn't do it, of course.
God.
It definitely didn't hurt my brain.
But let me ask, do you think that more teenagers are doing pot today, or that before legalization or after legalization?
You know what?
Do you think usage rates are going up or down? I don't know the answer.
Oh, you'll be fascinated by this because, you know, I'm not married, so I go out. So sometimes I'm out with like people who are a great deal younger than me. I don't know how they get in my group, but they do. And, so I've been to parties, like the Hollywood parties, and this is probably
I got a Goblin Coke.
exactly this way, but I wouldn't be surprised.
What is this fucking cow?
First of all, in this town, it's all run by the Nepo babies, the trust fund kids, just all these little 22-year-olds.
Katie Pritzker types.
Well,
I'm kidding.
no, I'm sure I know who you mean. The governor of Illinois.
He inherited the Hyatt.
Oh, sure.
No,
Well,
Nepo baby.
we've invented Nepo baby out here. Okay, but yes, it's everywhere now, even on the Lakers.
Hey, that's real privilege there. You know you got some privilege if you can get.
Well, okay, I don't want LeBron mad at me like he is at my friend Stephen A. But I mean that is. But the point is that when you go out to these, I've been to these parties where like it's a bunch of 22-year-old kids, and none of them are smoking. Why? They're on real drugs. Pot's so like my generation. It's like I couldn't find pot at one of these parties. I was the only. They were asking me for it. The few kids wanted. They're all.
Oh, when he says real drugs, actually, if he means like prescription shit or whatever, that might be.
Like psychedelics or mushrooms, LSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, ketamine, whatever.
Oh, ketamine. That has some medicinal property, but not at a party.
It's all ingested before they even leave the house. So that's where the good news, parents, your kids aren't on pot.
Yeah, but they're on
way worse, I think.
They're on a big trip. So, but do you think that since we've legalized, less teenagers are doing?
I'm so confused right now. Never mind. Okay. I just assumed everybody in like Hollywood is like a huge party person or whatever. But has Bill Maher not done much in terms of drugs or whatever? Or that's a really weird statement. People had way harder shit like mushrooms and LSD. It's like, was that way harder shit? I thought he was gonna say things like Xanax or like cocaine, I guess. Is there a way to lean this fucking? Mushrooms are not harder than weed? I would never say that, like, mushrooms or LSD, I would never classify those as hard drugs. No. Oh, this is it. Definitely harder than weed, though? Maybe. I don't know. Smoking is bad for you guys. Don't smoke stuff, alright? Nobody's taking mushrooms and LSD to party. Yeah, I think a problem too is a lot of people. I don't know what this is or what's going on here or why this seems to happen or if I just happen to know weird people, but I feel like I've spoken to a lot of people who will say shit like, yeah, like I've done mushrooms and stuff before. I've done LSD. I've done a lot of LSD, a lot of mushrooms. I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. LOL. I don't know what these people are actually doing. I don't know if they're just lying or if were given like really bad stuff or just given a piece of paper to suck on and they thought it was LSD. I don't know. I hear people say shit like that, so I don't even know
paper
engagement with these drugs actually is. But
that was always the argument, right? If we legalize it, less kids will do it.
I don't know what 14-year-olds are doing.
No, I don't know the answer.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
But we can
really
agree that kids should.
Totally. Yeah. But we also should be able to agree that we shouldn't force adults to organize their lives around what kids might get into.
What is this?
argument, I mean, do you think that it's...
I mean, you're not against porn, are you?
Well, I actually once struggled with porn. Thankfully, I'm free of that. But, I mean...
I'd be much more concerned if my kid was taking shrooms rather than smoking pot. It demonstrates that your kid is much likely deeper in the drug rabbit hole. I don't know. This is going to be a whole drug thing. I'm not sure.
Drug It's so easy.
Well, you could grow addicted to it. I mean, it can...
I was kidding.
No, but no, I mean, yeah, I don't have that issue anymore, thankfully. But I would ask the question, though, like, do you think since the legalization of marijuana in LA, it's made it a better or worse place to live? Or just it hasn't changed at all?
It certainly hasn't changed my life. I grew up right outside here.
Do you think the quality of life has gone up or down?
Well, I don't know, but that's...
I like how we're going to... Oh, good. Bill Maher's not an idiot. You know what Charlie Kirk is trying to trap him into, right? Obviously, he's a conservative and a Trumper, so everything has gotten worse in society. Has society gotten better or worse as of recently? We're legalizing, like we're going to kind of blame drugs for this, I guess? I don't know.
It's not really the relevant question, is it? Even if there is a deleterious effect, there is too many things we do, and we would not use that as a reason to prescribe our basic freedoms.
Should people, I mean, be able to do drugs outside, like on the street, or
no? Definitely not on the street.
Okay, so there are some limits.
Of course, there are limits. Yeah.
Isn't it true psychedelics are way more dangerous than weed? They aren't in the same league. No. First of all, in terms of physiological danger, no. Weed is absolutely smoking anything is going to be more dangerous than eating mushrooms or eating LSD. Number one. Okay. Number two. Generally speaking, I guess it depends, but generally speaking, actually, I don't even know if I'll generalize. Like, mushrooms or LSD are things you can do where it's like, hey, this weekend, we're going to do this thing, okay? And it's like an event, it's a thing you do, and then that's it. Anything that you can start taking every single day, especially if you're smoking it, I think is way worse for you. So if somebody was actually doing mushrooms and LSD like every single day, that person's got a lot of weird problems going on. But that's just typically not how people engage with those drugs. It doesn't even make sense to take them every day. They wouldn't even do anything for you. The effect would drop off dramatically. So many more people have a bad trip versus weed high lil bro destiny. A bad trip is a bad like feeling or whatever, but it passes. It's not causing permanent harm. A bad trip is not like ODing on fucking fentanyl. It's a thing that happens. By the way, everybody also has bad experience with weed as well. Everybody's had a bad experience with fucking edibles, okay? This is a thing that happens with edibles, okay?
And maybe of certain drugs, or certain drugs should be by prescription, as we do with pharmaceutical drugs, you know. But certainly pot is more benign than alcohol. I mean, I could give you the stats on that. We all know that. Is it health food? No. I'm not crazy like some of my hippie friends are, trying to portray it as something that's actually good for your lungs. But I don't think it's a trade-off. When you're an adult, you have the right to make trade-offs. Trade-offs is the essence of life. I'm going to have this piece of cake tonight and be a little fatter tomorrow, or I'm not going to do that and feel better tomorrow. And we all make those choices on a daily basis with everything. Yes, have I probably cut off some years of my life, maybe with pot? Who knows? I may have increased them because it helped me. It certainly made me richer. Made me better at my job, better at writing, better at a lot of things.
Weed will never kill you when you smoke it. Smoking is bad for you long term. LSD can kill you. I've had 2 friends that almost died of serotonin syrup. You're lying, or you're retarded, or your friends are lying, or your friends are retarded. Nobody is ODing on fucking LSD. Stop! We're not talking about drugs anymore. Stop! You're gonna trigger me. Stop! We're not talking about this anymore. Stop! That's it. That's the last one. We're only watching this. No more drug talk.
Make those choices on a daily basis with everything. Yes, have I probably cut off some years of my life, maybe with pot? Who knows? I may have increased them because it helped me. It certainly made me richer. Made me better at my job, better at writing, better at a lot of things I like to do. So, you know, I might be living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Van Nuys if it wasn't for pot, and I'm probably going to live longer here.
Or who knows how successful you could have been without it.
That's true too. That is true too.
Do you think there's any merit to the argument that the pot has more THC and is more intense than it was 30, 40 years ago?
It's so hard.
I don't know. I hear these things.
I hear those things too, and I'm sure that's true because once it became as commercialized as it has, of course you're going to try to maximize the potency of it. Just because the customer comes back, just like a restaurant, is not interested in your health. They're interested in making the food
selling more product,
delicious as they can, and so you come back to that restaurant. So, but it's so hard for me to tell you because I've been smoking for 50 years, and I'm different. Who knows what I was thinking? I remember when I first smoked, we would just sit in the car and laugh at nothing for an hour. That doesn't happen anymore. So my guess is the pot is stronger, but my resistance is weaker.
Okay.
Anyway, it's, you know, people think I'm some sort of giant pothead. I've always been very circumspect about my pot smoking. I mean, I don't smoke every day. The most I smoke is right here, once a week. I like to be in party mode when I'm with someone I'm getting to know. This is one of the joys of my life. And, you know, I understand that it doesn't connect with some people or it makes some people paranoid or something, but other people, it's just, I mean, you know, some people like a scotch and some people like blah, 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 and some people like complete sobriety. If that's your thing, that's fine. But to me, the most interesting place I can ever travel is inside my own mind. And drugs do help you get there.
Do you think all hard drugs should be illegal? Like heroin?
Illegal, no. I mean, well, heroin, is there any uses for it? I mean...
Like for what San Francisco did, they pseudo-legalized it, right? And they said, hey, we're going to make it easier for you to do heroin.
No, we shouldn't make it easier. That's crazy.
Where they had drug injection sites, basically,
yeah,
right?
That's so
No, I know, but that was a public policy position of Seattle.
Well, but the goal wasn't to necessarily make it easier for you or to get more people to have access to the drug. The point for, I believe it's called harm reduction, right? Is that you have some people who are addicted to it and they're going to do it anyway, so you might as well have sites where they can get clean needles and shit.
Well, Portland and San Francisco.
That's the low-lying fruit for you
that's a question.
No, but isn't it?
I want to create...
It's the low-lying fruit. It's like no...
Sure, it's a boundary. I want to create a boundary.
And you're right. You know, I mean, again, I'm for picking that fruit too. It's silly.
Do you have any cash?
And keep them on the street. It's stupid to keep
Oh.
homeless on the street.
Oh, I totally agree.
There's another way. Liberals are different than the woke. The liberal thing forever was get them off this.
What is the line between harm reduction and addiction? I could be totally wrong, but my guess is there aren't very many people who see a heroin needle, clean needle site and go, man, heroin, I should really give that a shot.
Liberals are different than the woke. The liberal thing forever was, for compassion's sake, get them off the street. That's not the woke version. Their version is they're an endangered species. Don't touch them in their natural habitat living under a bridge.
Let them defecate. Let them do whatever they want.
It's their thing. And, you know, I mean, there should be nothing more basic than a government claiming the streets. The streets are for the citizens. It's not the liberals. Build the barracks. I mean, why are these things, maybe you can add that. Why are these kind of things so difficult? You think it's common sense. Build a fucking...
And how do they get addicted in the first place? I don't know what the ordinary addiction pathway is, but it's probably not through clean needle sites. You probably go to parties, you do drugs. I've said this a million times. I think that if drugs should be seen as like life enhancers, not like coping things. If you're taking drugs or doing drugs to escape something, it's not good. And if you're doing drugs regularly, recreationally regularly, I think it's really bad. I think probably a scare is when you start doing recreational drugs on the regular. Typically, anything that a recreational drug gives you that makes you feel really good is going to be something that your sensation dulls to over time. So if you do this, you know, like once a month, or if you do it, you know, when you go out or whatever, like occasionally, it's not a big deal. You do it a little bit and you have fun. But if you start doing it regularly, that high is going to wear off, and then you're going to be searching for progressively harder stuff in order to get back to that original feeling you had when you started doing whatever recreational drug in the first place.
Fucking barracks. I know homeless people say they don't want to live there. You don't have a choice. Oh, we'll get robbed there. Hire security. It's pennies on the dollar.
Oh, that's true too. For things like opiates, that addiction pathway, the most popular one might have just been through an injury, and then you get prescription drugs, and then you end up chasing that high even after you get out of the hospital. I don't know if those people are chasing the high or looking for pain relief. Maybe it's all pain relief, according to Dr. House.
People say they don't want to live there. You don't have a choice. Oh, we'll get robbed there. Hire security. It's pennies on the dollar. Why is it so difficult? I feel like I, with no real knowledge of this field, could do it. Could just, if I had people who would carry out I would say, okay, get me specs. I want to see where a place we could build it. I want to see what the barracks looks like. I want to see who works there. Is it really in the toilets, whatever? And somebody must be Mitt Romney, somebody who did the Olympics, somebody who could come in and
we know how to clean up the streets. I mean, Gavin Newsom cleaned up the streets of San Francisco when Xi Jinping showed up. I mean,
I hate it when he uses this retarded fucking talking point. Oh my god. Cleaning up the streets, you know, for a day or for a week or whatever, for an Olympic thing or for some visit or whatever, is way different than like permanently dealing with a problem. But
it's just an act of will. They don't want to do it.
Right, like when they get the whores off the street, when the mayor is like doing one of those cleanup.
Or like when the MLB All-Star game goes to Seattle, all of a sudden it's America's cleanest city.
Right. So you're saying if we can do it that one day?
I'm saying it's an act of the will. It's all that it is. And look, woke, I wouldn't even say left, woke philosophy is they don't really believe in private property. And at its core, why shouldn't someone be able to defecate on the side of the street? Who are you to judge?
Well, that's
not at all what that pathway is. I think think there's a weird virtue signal around homeless people, or I'm sorry, our unhoused neighbors, they call them. I think there's just a weird virtue signal around it. I don't think it has to do with private property ownership rights. Maybe some people do that, but...
Woke, yes, maybe.
I'm saying woke, not even woke.
Right.
I'm making that distinction,
Right,
which I think
good.
is a fair distinction.
That's another reason. Another one we can add to the list of woke is not liberal.
No, and I think left versus liberal or woke versus liberal is an important distinction.
Right.
I will say what makes you different is few liberals stand up to the woke.
And
few liberals are willing to stand up to woke.
Absolutely. And
true
few
and sad.
conservatives stand up to Trump.
Fair enough. I mean, you can stand up or disagree, but I guess you could say the question: is Trump woke? Is an ideology? Is Trump an ideology? I mean, he's a person.
I'm gonna watch the sheets, but I'm gonna have to go get a 20 so I can break it.
I think that'd be a big mistake.
Also, when you get to, we're going to send
Have enough quarters.
American citizens.
I have enough for a wash. I don't have enough for drying. They raised it's like $2 to wash, and then it's $2.50 to dry. So I'll go later. Go to the ATM. Right now it's really busy out there. It's hot, so I'm gonna go chillax for
Okay.
a while. Then I'll go back out for 20. Go break it somewhere, and then some quarters.
If he were to do that, I would. Great. But I don't. I think that is a one-liner to give to Bukele. I think that is. You met the man.
Yes, I
do. You think he actually like he would do that?
Yes.
How are you? All right.
It's still horrible.
I got a headache. Fixing to go lay back down.
I'm gonna go play a video game.
This is the thing I keep complaining about. People are like, well, he just said it. You keep, but I did this
Relax.
yesterday. Like, that's still horrible.
Tomorrow, but I think
That is still horrible. What the fuck, guys?
Look me in the eye and tell me.
like later. I think it's like 3 to 7 or something like that. Very short.
I think it would be a little more vitriolic than that. We would be apoplectic. Okay. I'm just.
Where is this? Who started this? Jesus, I've heard this word like 50 times in the past couple weeks.
Vitriolic than that.
We'd be
Apoplectic. Okay. I'm finding out how honest you are, Charlie, and
Yep.
so far I think you're doing good. And
Yep.
so if I'm doing
That's what my schedule looks like.
the honesty, we can't really.
Only 3 to 7:30 tomorrow. So.
to the whole topic in general. The outrage around.
And then after the 25th, I don't work again until the 2nd. So even if you are in the hospital, to come back here, to drive back here, go to work. 25th, and then figure shit out. I'll do your Sedgwick stuff and try and figure it out, okay? Might not be able to just sit with you up there like I used to. I'll be there for you, okay? I didn't know last time. I was freaking out.
The Supreme Court. I guess we have to get into the weeds.
There's even new evidence in the last couple about.
Really came on as like a.
You lead the conversation. You tell me how deep you want.
I'll just.
Okay.
I mean.
Maybe change out his pants.
I hope
Hey,
that
at least he knows the
if it
limits of
comes
his.
to light, let me button it up this way. I hope that if it does come to light, that there really is no evidence that this guy was a gang member, that he got swept up, which is very understandable. That when you do a sweep, when you're doing big things, yes, nothing is going to go perfect. But if it does come to light, I would hope that some Republicans have the spine to say, yeah, that's not right. This guy should not be there. I mean, the bill.
And that's the issue. Remember the meme, right? Once they've committed to a lie, they will never back off, which is a problem. Because now they don't have the capacity to make mistakes because they have to defend every single action.
Right. Pretty clear that you can't just disappear people without any sort of trial. And deportation is not the same thing as sending someone to a prison.
A
You
slave
are allowed to
labor
deport
prison.
under the Alien Enemies Act.
Correct.
Someone
Well,
who was part of a
Not true.
recognized
You shouldn't
terrorist
have even
organization.
given that, but
MS-13 is pretty close to a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
not
I
really.
mean,
but
you're bending all these words.
He's not an American citizen. Yeah.
Also, the Alien Enemies Act. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Hold on.
Who was part of a but you are allowed to deport under the Alien Enemies Act.
Correct.
The Alien Enemies Act is not about a foreign terrorist organization. The Alien Enemies Act is about being at war with another country. I believe that the deportations for Mahmoud Khalil, that was done under supporting terrorism and the declaration of groups as terrorists and supporting FTOs, foreign terrorist organizations. The Alien Enemies Act has to do with the fact that we are currently at war with Venezuela, which we are. We are at war with Venezuela. And the accusation that was laid out is that Tren de Aragua is basically part of the Venezuelan government, and they are doing a coordinated invasion into the United States. Hence, we can invoke the Alien Enemies Act in order to deport members from this country that's currently at war with us. That's the argument. It has nothing to do with terrorism. It has to do with the fact that we're at war with that country. That is the legal pathway that they've
Someone who is part of a recognized terrorist organization. MS-13 is pretty close to a terrorist.
Yeah, okay.
Was that passed by Congress? Nope. Or, well, the bill was. The Alien Enemies Act was, but the declaration of war was just made by Congress. I thought Congress had to declare war. You think so, huh? Crazy, huh?
And you know, you're bending all these words.
He's not an American citizen. You got to acknowledge that.
No, absolutely
right?
not.
So that's important.
But he wasn't here illegally either.
He was.
Illegally.
Yeah, the Maryland man. As long as we're not talking about two different cases.
Talking about Garcia.
Yes, he was an illegal immigrant to the country.
I thought he was waiting for asylum.
You could be illegal waiting for asylum.
I see. So so they could deport him. That's right.
Yeah. This is kind of true, but this gets into the weeds like very weirdly on how I think immigration stuff works in terms of like the legality of it. So like for instance, when Melina was here, I think we went the K1 visa route, which is where you have a fiance and then you get married in the country and then you do an adjustment of status, I think, after you get married legally, but not really. It's just, yeah, it's kind of weird. You're complying with the law. It's just, I don't even know if you would really say illegally. But
yes.
But we never did it, but to a prison.
It's an edge case. I acknowledge it's on the edge.
Okay, good.
No, but the edge is, so there's three ways you can deport people. It could be the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It can be
used only 3 times.
That's fine, but hey, look, and you quote the First Amendment all the time. That's from 1787, right? So old things are important. No, I'm just saying, just because it's old.
That's been used more than 3 times.
Fair enough, but just because things are old doesn't mean, and I'm not saying you're using.
Now, interestingly enough, old things are important. However, right? Gorsuch, I mentioned, I think writes well in Loper about stare decisis and what good law looks like that's been ruled on or interpreted by judges over long periods of time in ordinary times. It's an important indicator for how we should view a particular law. So for instance, if you've got a law that's been invoked twice in times of war, well, you probably wouldn't want to look at that as like an ordinary thing. You would view it a little bit differently than, say, the First Amendment that's been analyzed and tested in a million different courts, a million different ways, a million different times. Bill Maher doesn't realize it, but is actually a good legal argument to say, this has only been brought up a few times before, in times of war, and Trump is using it as an ordinary immigration process. Isn't that kind of not good? Like, from a judicial standpoint, I think there's a good argument there, but that's...
It's been used more than 3 times.
Fair enough, but just because things are old doesn't mean, and I'm not saying you're using that talking point, but some people are trying to invalidate it. It's also expedited release.
They're trying to invalidate it, but it doesn't really apply to this.
God damn.
How is MS-13 not a terrorist organization?
Yeah, you can make
or
that.
Tren de Aragua. I mean,
organized because
like the terrorist organization, I don't think it mattered that these were designated as FTOs. It only mattered in terms of doing the tariffs, and I think it only mattered in terms of deporting people related to like protests or supporting these things. Or that was the invocation of a different act. Fuck, what was it? It wasn't the Alien Enemies Act. It was there's another act for deporting people, or maybe it's just the ordinary visa thing. Like if you have a visa, or if you're going for a green card or whatever, you can't support terrorists basically. I don't even know if there's a particular act there. I think it's just that's just like part of the immigration process. You can't support terrorists while you're applying for a green card or whatever. The Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA. Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. That's just the ordinary fucking thing.
Because terrorism really is a political movement. It means terrorizing the civilian population to achieve a political goal. These guys just want to grab your locket. You know, this is
a lot more than that.
A lot more than that. Look, I've said that all this stuff I don't like about Trump, I did it in my piece the other week when I was talking about the meeting at the White House. That no, he was tweeting about me. I've never liked anything. No, check the tape. There are things I like, and one thing I liked was that the police have their morale back maybe now. And you know, when you live in a city, it's not a good thing when the police lose their morale because they feel like they've been painted with a broad brush, which they were after 2020. You know, and they're like, okay, you know, and I've been very critical of the cops when I think they did bad things, but do I think it's a racist, you know, attack squad? It's not. There's issues. There are always issues in everything. And, you know, when you insult the cops, they have a way of kind of brooding about it. And it's just not a good place to be when you're a city dweller. And so, you know, I don't want to be killed by a gang member because they do random killings, you know, just as gang initiation so they can get the fucking teardrop under their eye. Okay, I want...
Isn't that a big kill shot to this whole point? MS-13 and Kilmar aren't El Salvadorian. We aren't at war with El Salvador. We don't care about MS-13 or El Salvador gangs for purposes of the Alien Enemies Act. The Alien Enemies Act was specifically invoked to go to war with Venezuela concerning Trende Aragua. MS-13, that's a different argument. That's a different they have like the full you can just read it. So they talk about this. Trende Aragua is a foreign terrorist organization, but this doesn't matter. They're saying they have thousands of members, many of whom are unlawfully infiltrated the U.S. and are conducting irregular warfare and undertaking hostile actions against the United States. Now, still, none of this really matters for the Alien Enemies Act because it's just a terrorist organization. The Alien Enemies Act is for being at war with nations. But, they say, Trende Aragua operates in conjunction with Cartel de los Soles, or whatever, the Nicolas Maduro regime-sponsored narco-terrorism enterprise based in Venezuela, and commits brutal crimes, including murders, kidnappings, extortions, and human, drug, and weapon trafficking. TDA is engaged in and continues to engage in mass illegal immigration or migration to the United States to further its objectives of harming United States citizens, undermining public safety, and supporting the Maduro regime's goal of destabilizing democratic nations in the Americas, including the U.S. The ties, what they try to do is they try to tie them to Venezuela. TDA is closely aligned with and indeed has infiltrated the Maduro regime, including its military and law enforcement apparatus. TDA grew significantly well. Tarek El-Ayasami served as governor of Aragua between 2012 and 2017. He was appointed vice president of Venezuela soon thereafter. The U.S. Department of Treasury, blah, blah, blah. So it tries to say that basically Maduro maintains close ties to regime-sponsored narco-terrorists. Maduro leads the regime-sponsored enterprise Cartel de los Soles, which coordinates with and relies on TDA and other organizations to carry out its objective of using illegal narcotics. Over the years, Venezuelan national and local authorities have ceded ever greater control over their territories to transnational criminal organizations, including TDA. The result is a hybrid criminal state that is perpetuating an invasion of and predatory incursion into the United States, and which poses a substantial danger to the United States. Based upon a review of TDA's activities and in consultation with the Attorney General and the Secretary of the Treasury, on February 20th, 2025, acting pursuant to the authority in 8 U.S.C., we designated them a foreign terrorist organization, and that his duties in protecting the American people. So we find and declare that TDA is perpetuating, attempting, and threatening an invasion or predatory incursion against the territory of the United States. They are undertaking hostile actions and conducting irregular warfare against the territory of the United States, both directly and at the direction, clandestine or otherwise, of the Maduro regime in Venezuela. I make these findings using the full extent of my authority to conduct the nation's foreign affairs under the Constitution. Based on these findings and the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including 50 U.S.C. 21, I proclaim that all Venezuelan citizens 14 years of age or older who are members of TDA are within the United States and are not actually naturalized or lawful permanent residents of the United States are liable to be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as alien enemies. It's not just because of this FTO thing, it's because it's part of the Venezuelan government. That's why the target was for Venezuelans. It's because we're at war with Venezuela. It is how this act is invoked here, or it's how it has to be invoked. It's the Alien Enemies Act. But it's unhinged, so. What are you gonna do?
Cut off some years of my life, maybe with pot. Who knows?
Fuck.
I may have increased them because it helped me. Certainly made me richer. It made me better at my job, better at writing, better at a lot of things I like to do. So
Wait, what the fuck?
The Supreme Court. I guess we have to get into the weeds. That's been used more than 3 times.
Fair enough, but just because things are old doesn't mean, and I'm not saying you're using that talking point, but some people are trying to invalidate it just because it's old. Well, it's also expedited release.
They're trying to invalidate it because it doesn't really apply to this. That it's stretching.
I mean, how is MS-13 not a terrorist organization?
Yeah, you can make that.
Or Trende Aragua. I mean, organized
because terrorism really is a political movement. It's look.
Is it healthy to be looking up at that angle for your other monitor? I'm a human being. My neck is on a swivel. You can move it all sorts of different ways. Why would it be unhealthy to look up? The fuck?
Said that all this stuff I don't like about Trump, I did it in my piece the other week when I was talking about the meeting at the White House. That no, he was tweeting about me. I've never liked anything. No, check the tape. There are things I like, and one thing I liked was that the police have their morale back maybe now. And when you live in a city, It's not a good thing when the police lose their morale because they feel like they've been painted with a broad brush, which they were after 2020, you know. And they're like, okay, yeah. And I've been very critical of the cops when I think they did bad things, but do I think it's a racist, you know, attack squad? It's not. There's issues. There's always issues in everything. And, you know, when you insult the cops, they have a way of kind of brooding about it. And it's just not a good place to be when you're a city dweller. And so, you know, I don't want to be killed by a gang member because they do random killings, you know, just as gang initiation so they can get the fucking teardrop under their eye. Okay, I want to be someone's teardrop tattoo, you know, rando out to dinner. So I get it. You know, I mean, these are the things that lost the Democrats the election.
100%.
You know, you got to take care of this shit.
And there's real Americans that die. I mean, Rachel Moore and Laken Riley. There's real, I mean, Jocelyn.
Well, probably not at greater rates that are killed by regular Americans.
That's debated, but
It's
let's
not
just put that
debated.
aside. They shouldn't be here. And so none of those murders should happen, right?
Right.
And so, anyway, back to the core question. Does the president have the ability to remove illegals that have come here under an enemy gang? Of course he does. Yeah, he has the power given to him by that law.
Hey, do you want a little more random in your life? Go to your online merch store at clubrandom.com and get some Club Random merch. We've got great fitting cream.
Are these gang murders a common issue in the USA? Fuck no. No, they're not. And anybody that tells you they are is fucking lying to you. There's a reason why it's always like the same few names that come up over and over again. These are not things that are happening fucking all the time in the US. They're pretty rare and exceptional things.
Hoodies, t-shirts, and ringers, all super soft and printed with high-quality inks. We've also got stuff to elevate your bar with Club Random mugs, tumblers, and decanters for your spirit of choice or for sparkling water like me. Add your jing drops. Everyone can ask you what you're dosing yourself with. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And this could be fun or a complete nightmare. If you have a great idea for something you'd like to see in our merch store, send us a comment and the best idea will be made. All our merch is available exclusively at clubrandom.com. While you're there...
Financial build to a standard to understand the details. This is his job and he has a huge platform. I have no faith in anybody doing any kind of legal analysis or research literally whatsoever. Even half the fucking lawyers that we see go on shows, like Pisco talks to, are fucking retarded on it. So I'm just totally... I think that's all just a fucking lost cause.
Yeah, you can catch up on all our recent episodes and then head over to the merch store to pick up some swag and bring some random home. Once again, that's clubrandom.com. Club Random is brought to you by the audio marketing gurus at Radioactive Media. Congratulations, you survived 2024 and the start of 2025.
Yeah.
Not easy. As a business owner or CMO, what steps are you taking to ensure your business survives and thrives as something very reliable?
What's CMO? Content management organization?
Why not utilize something stable for your marketing efforts?
Good job, Cal.
Chief medical officer?
In the U.S., audio reaches more than social media and digital combined. My friends at Radioactive Media know the recipe to launch, optimize, and scale performance by building compelling audio campaigns with work. Their personal growth and knowledge of media is unparalleled. For advertisers who want to reach the right audience with the right hosts and programs, you need to speak with Radioactive Media. Text random to 511-511. Oh, why not do something innovative and sponsor my show? If you're a mid-sized company or a well-funded startup, Radioactive can help. They believe in the power of audio so much they even use it themselves right here, right now. Learn how you can harness the power of text messaging. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text the word random to 511-511. Discover how audio marketing can surpass your current strategy with new and innovative ways that sound better. Go to radioactivemedia.com or text random to 511-511. Text random to 511-511 today.
Thank you.
Message and data rates may apply. I've been on TV a long time and have gone through my fair share of hiring people.
When are we in our podcast ads, bro? Holy shit, these guys are milking it hard.
I have a team around me that helps me vet and hire the right people, which I pride myself on. But most employers don't have that support and thus make costly mistakes in hiring the right people. If you're an employer who can relate, I have one question for you. Have you tried ZipRecruiter?
Because I don't have a CMO.
Now, ZipRecruiter just held a recent survey which found that 76% of employers were planning to expand their headcount for 2025. That's a lot of time spent hiring. If you're one of these employers who's ramping up hiring this year, don't miss out on this advice.
Don't miss out,
Add
guys.
ZipRecruiter's latest feature, Zip Intro, to your hiring plan. It lets you post jobs today and talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Best of all, it does most of the work for you, so you save time. And right now, you can try Zip Intro for free at ziprecruiter.com/random. Zip Intro gives you the power to quickly assess excellent candidates for your job via back-to-back video calls. You simply pick a time, And Zip Intro does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. So relax. Let ZipRecruiter play matchmaker for you. Save time hiring for 2025.
Will do. Wait, when you're copying, I just want to do a quick copy paste. Is there a way to copy the tiles in the ground as well? Or do I have to like do a little blueprint and then select like fucking whatever the tile option is on this bullshit?
With new Zip Intro, just go to ziprecruiter.com/random right now to try Zip Intro for free. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/random. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Thank you.
So, you're 31. What's your background? I'm going to have to like Larry King this. You know what? Like Larry King used to just famously, and I love Larry. I did a show a billion times.
He was a legend.
Yeah.
I never met him.
And his thing was like, I don't prepare. I'm like the regular guy who just wants to know. He's curious about this person, so I don't know. So I ask the questions that this person would ask. You, Charlie Kirk, you're 31 years old. You're Jewish, right? No.
Yeah, that's Muslim, actually.
You're married?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been married?
It will be 4 years in May.
Wow.
Aw.
And kids?
2 kids, yeah.
2 kids already?
Yeah. But we got to work.
No, Charlie, it shouldn't be work. That's all I'm going to say. I'm kidding. No.
It's an enjoyable work.
Understand. Okay.
We got to the fun, I should say.
And
Spicy.
And you're going to have more?
God willing.
God willing. Right. And you know we don't see eye to eye on the religion thing.
You know,
But-
someone told me that.
I got to tell you, you should see my movie Religion.
I actually saw it.
Oh, really?
And to your credit,
Thank you.
what you did on Islam was awesome.
Oh no.
The other one's not so much.
When you were criticizing the religion that I fucking hate, it was based. But then you did this thing where you criticized the religion that I like, and then it was actually cringe. I just wanted you to know that.
That's
Correct.
right, buddy.
Secondly, so if you just isolate the Islamic part.
But it was funny. Come on.
Secondly,
Jesus.
to your credit, you treated woke like a religion.
Yes.
And you criticized them with the same
Yeah, yeah.
intensity and
Yeah,
ferocity
yeah.
you did, and you deserve a lot of credit
Oh,
for that.
thank you. I
No, I mean
appreciate
that because you looked at it as this has
Right.
catechism, it has religious type
Totally.
undercurrents, it has almost a metaphysical presence to itself, and so you're an equal opportunity.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's funny because the director of Religulous, Larry Charles, and I had dinner about a year ago, and I suggested, and of course it went nowhere because we're both too old to like really act on it. But I said, people keep asking me, and I'm sure him also, to do Religulous too. But when they say it, they think we're going to, now we're going to go to India and make fun of the Hindus. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm not going to India, and the Hindus aren't that funny. Okay, we did it. The movie did great, and we love that it stands the test of time, and people always keep coming up to me and seeing it. Movies are amazing that way. But I said, somebody gave me a great idea. Why don't we do Religulous too, but the religion is wokeness? And then that's what I was suggested. And I said, yeah, but then you're going to have to do the right side of it too, because that's also a religion. Christian nationalism. I mean, come on. Your boys, some of the people I think you're fond of, they mix religion and politics in a way that I think is not according to the Constitution. But I have to tell you, I'll give you a lot of credit. I saw a video of yours where you were talking about how Christy the original documents were, which is, I mean, my view is that the founding fathers, we know a number of them were deists, mostly that was their religion, but you did, and you have your facts down. I mean, you can spiel when you get on a subject like
got the
this.
shtick down.
You really do. And I trust you, I'm going by but that they were a little Christier than I thought, and
Did you ever watch Religulous? The questions he asks are always fun. Reminds me a lot of what Jordan Klepper does on The Daily Show when he goes to rallies. You allow the people to make themselves not retarded. Nope, never seen it.
Always happy to learn new information. And if it doesn't satisfy people that I don't stay exactly where I am, it satisfies the people who are actually my fans, who always want me to do that, to be like, oh, if I take in new information. I mean, that's why, the far left hates me because I went to the White House and said, well, privately, Trump's different. I didn't give an inch on anything I believe. I confronted him on things that I think, he maybe never hears from anybody else, but that's not good enough for them because, they had to. But no, if you take in new information, just tell me. And so I do think after listening to your spiel that, yes, they were a little more into Jesus than I thought. I mean, I know Jefferson wrote that Bible and
He heavily edited it.
Took all the miracles out. He took all the religiosity out of it and just made him a
moral teacher.
A moral philosopher. You have to admit, that's not exactly the act of a Christy person.
No, but at least he acknowledged that there was something profound there. Got to give him credit for that.
I would even acknowledge.
I hate that people do this. They'll do this thing where they're like, you got to admit, like, religion does get some things right? And it's like, when you say some things right, do you mean like basic moral precepts that literally every single human civilization from dusk to dawn or whatever has gotten right? Yes, religion does do that. That's no surprise because religion is created by man, and all human people that share a similar biological background, which is all humans, as far as I know, are probably going to have pretty similar feelings on things that are morally okay and not morally okay, or morally unokay or immoral. Like, that's not surprising at all. If anything, that should be a question on your side. Isn't it weird that a lot of the morals that came from the Bible seem like roughly to be the morals of all the massive civilizations that came before it? Like, is it?
No, but at least he acknowledged that there was something profound there. Got to give him credit for that.
I would even acknowledge that.
Okay, that's good. No, I'm glad to hear you say
Well,
that.
Jesus as a philosopher was a true revolutionary. I mean, when he said the meek shall inherit the earth, I think the response
Blessed
was...
are the peacemakers.
Yeah, but the idea that it gets good in the next life was fairly, I think, revolutionary. And the fact that, you know, if you're a good person in this life, there's a much greater road. This is just the pregame. You want the after party. And the after party is just going to be fucking awesome. You're up there with me and my dad, God, and it's just, you know.
What do you think would create a better society or better action? People
Wait,